and what you're doing now is deceiving. Can you
Sir, can I just say something real
can you
fast?
narrate?
Sir, one second. I just want to say something before we begin.
No, hold on.
Does not,
Let me finish, brother. Can you narrate
sir,
the?
I'm sorry. We're not having a debate that way. It's my platform. I wanted to introduce something.
Hi, my witches and norms. Welcome to Witch Talk Tales podcast. I am your host, Moon Witch, and today I have my two very friends.
Hi, I'm Bianca.
Hi, Miguel.
And today we're going to do a little something different. I wanted to talk about, Satanism, Christianity, obviously my channel but not saying I'm a not saying I'm a devil worshiper. No judgment here. But we're going to be talking about that also and among other little things. But with that being said, don't forget to like this video and also subscribe. Let's get to the podcast.
Let's get it started.
So what have you guys been up to?
Just work. Literally just work.
How was it?
It's work.
What else can we say?
I feel you.
So as you guys tell, I am new to her podcast channel. I've been in a couple segments, but never sat down and done, not an interview, but just a short talk. So a round of applause for our host.
But mind you, I told her to come over.
I was tricked, but it's okay. I love her.
The word was ambushed.
Sparkling letters ambushed.
Do that.
Because you said that the topic we're discussing is about Satanism, or
Yes, well, I saw this video of this guy whose TikTok was called True Devil Worshipper, and he was going live on TikTok, and he was talking about people coming to his channel or TikTok page, and was like, "Oh, I converted to Satanism because of you, and you made me so and so, and thank you for giving me books and da 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 da."
Mm-hmm.
So I said, "Let me screen record this." I was kind of scared. I'm not into devil worshiper, but it kind of made a little bit sense. But even though the part about calling himself a god,
It intrigued you.
it intrigued me, but I don't see myself as a god.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why also because he said he practices witchcraft, and I'm like, bro, you are talking about some bullshit compared to what the fuck I know.
Mm-hmm.
And for you to say like Christianity, I keep saying Christianity. For him to say witchcraft and Satanism was the same thing, it was not. It was not. And it scared me, but I wanted to see what he meant.
Well, I could have said the same with me.
Why? Off topic though. It's cute.
Very good.
It's oh my god, I forgot the name of it. It's Tiger's Eye. Tiger's Eye.
I wanted to her just answer it so I can know. But that was cute. I think I'm gonna borrow it.
Girl, you know about crystals and borrowing. Be so for real.
I'm a stiller. Since some people believe that witchcraft is evil, I might do a little voodoo. No.
Okay.
Sorry, different topic. Sorry.
Well, I have a lot of stories, but I think one that really stuck is set the scene. Okay, so everyone was away. I think my dad was out doing something. My two sisters were sleeping over at a friend's house or something, and it was just me and my mom. My bed, my room is in the hall, like in the middle of the hallway, and then my parents' room is just across the hallway. And I guess we were both asleep, but this freaked me out, guys. Okay, so I was asleep, and I don't know why, but I just felt like I needed to wake up. So when I turned around to like position myself to the side, I opened my eyes and I saw this huge dark figure just standing at the pretend like I'm sleeping, and I just turn around. I just see this huge dark shadow just like watching me. Basically, tell me why my first reaction was to get up and square up with it. Dead eyes.
How old were you?
Fight or flight. I said fight.
How old were you?
I want to say like freshman, sophomore in high school.
She wanted to square up.
I literally.
15.
Yeah, something like that. Mind you, I don't know. Like, I just knew, like, it was bad energy or something. So I get up and my dumbass starts to square up with it.
I'm sorry.
Not showing you the visuals, picture with your mind. I got up and I started throwing hands with the fucking spirit. Be so for real.
Right, left, right.
Bruh, I was going Canelo on this dude. Like, for real. Shout out to all the college students out there. It's finals weeks next week, so.
Oh, really?
You guys got this.
Oh, we got
this. Oh my god.
You got this. Wait, why? How many assignments you have?
Girl. Let's not talk about that.
Are you sure?
I'm just kidding. It's just a bunch of essays. I mean, it's college. It is what it is at this point. It's just like, bitch.
I remember being there. It was always the hardest thing to do. Essays are the worst.
I don't know nothing about that. But what I do know, no, I don't. Well, are you almost done with your essay?
I started one of them.
Or is that assignment? Essay assignment?
No, I have 3 assignments left, and then 3 essays I have to write in about like a couple days.
Oh, sure.
But I work best under pressure.
Love that.
No matter what, I think it'll be okay. You're pretty
What
smart.
is the topic?
It's just different.
Wait, you said 15 pages?
Yeah, the 15 pages is on communications, but it's not like, ooh, how do people communicate with each other? It's more about the psychological background on how we communicate and why we communicate the way we communicate, how people perceive things and how they, take things in and everything like that. So it's a 15-page paper on just everything we learned in the course and like all that stuff and everything. So, which kind of sucks because.
I'm good.
Yeah. I kind of don't remember the last thing I ate yesterday, so the thought about doing a whole 15-page paper on a whole entire semester, college students.
Power to the college students.
Hey, once you start,
Yeah.
your mind will remember
That's
everything
the
that you
thing,
learned.
it's just getting into it. It's anyone who's been in college, been out of college, did a little bit of college, whatever, dipped their toes in anything, kudos to you, because it's hard out here, especially with jobs out there and a full-time student.
I couldn't do it.
Girl.
No, I can be proud.
You know all this. This is a lot.
This is my starting session. Imagine it gets bigger. Manifestation. Zoom that in, bitch. No, I'm excited. This journey. I didn't think I was gonna be doing a podcast, to be honest, and you guys motivated me. And that's on the truth. That's on the real.
So you heard it here. When she gets big, she's bringing the cash over to us. Okay?
Yes. So like this video, by the way.
Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment.
Please.
And make sure she gets verified.
Yes.
Verified.
Verified, guys. Moon Witch Tales.
Witch Dark Tales.
Moon Witch is your
my name.
My bad. Not me exposing you.
Add a background here. That off topic is crazy because we're friends, and like it's a whole different minority variety of us being different beliefs. But it's like how you guys are not judging me, and I will never judge you or even try to convert you to any of my believings. But the fact that you guys are not judging me and you're so okay. So for the audience, listen to this, and for the podcast listeners, can you explain to them how we met and how my personality is, where I'm not evil, or am I evil?
No, honestly, this girl is love, positivity, going about my day and stuff like that. Honestly, she never really talked about her religion in that way. Like, she does believe in some characteristics of Christianity and stuff like that, and she has other characteristics of, witchcraft and everything like that, but she doesn't really, pronounce everything in that aspect that some other people in other religions do.
Good choice of words. It's just like how we saw a mosquito And I saw it, so I got my sound and I went, Wapa! Right? I said, oh my God, rest in peace, I'm so sorry. Like,
Like the way I met Megan, she's like the nicest person.
Yeah.
no lie.
Pretty much.
Like,
No lie. No
they
lie.
don't know me, remember, they don't know me, so.
Yeah, she's like, I don't know. She's all out to go help, people. Help her friends, help people, random people, no matter who they are.
She doesn't judge.
She doesn't judge.
Mm-hmm.
So her being, a witch.
Other than her being curious, that's like
I
the
think
only,
she's stuck.
as you can see
pretty
with this
good.
podcast.
And I'm glad that you guys are here. It goes to show that we can be different but still connect as a human being.
Mm-hmm.
Whether belief, whether of race, whether of gender, or of anything, like we can all still be a human being and still understand that there is more to life than judging somebody for what they believe in.
Mm-hmm. Bringing it back on the stories for just supernatural, I have a lot. My family really got into Christianity.
Let me move for here, so zoom in here.
Yeah, no, my family really got into Christianity because of a lot of paranormal activity within our family. Just, once you witness it, you're like, something's going on, like, above, the superficial, not the superficial, but like the physical world, if that makes sense. So
no, that makes sense.
Yeah, so like I have a lot of stories that my aunts and uncles have with Ouija boards and stuff like that.
Oh, I would love to hear, please.
Yes, I have other stories about my grandma and what she's seen in Mexico and everything like that. And then I have personal stories where it's just like, in any sense, any supernatural like experience like makes you wonder and stuff like that. So the topics that we're discussing about, Wicca, right? Wicca or stuff like that, on like how people believe this or like how they move towards this or converted and stuff like that. It makes completely sense whether or not you believe it or you have, different things. But like, let me tell you, so the Ouija board, my uncles, boys, they just like to play around. They were in college, I think, and they got gifted a Ouija board.
How?
Red flag number one.
It's a sign.
Yeah, they were in college and they were just, messing around because, like, obviously, like, their religion is Christianity and stuff like that. And, like, they knew, like, of sorts of what a Ouija board is, but they didn't really believe until they started to, use it and stuff like that. And I guess, they never really fully told me the story behind why they wanted to throw it away. But I guess something happened and they just tossed it in a trash can. And it would show up at their doorsteps. And they would toss it again, and it would find them over and over again until my uncle finally burned it.
And
And
the only
so,
way to get rid of it.
yeah, and so that was one of them. And then I have other stories of my grandma where she's literally, back in the olden days, cut to black and white, back in the olden days, my grandma used to live in Mexico. So they have this rio, which is like you wash your body, you wash your clothes and stuff like that. And she was really young, and I guess she was washing her clothes, and I guess she saw a headless guy on a horse just standing like on the other side.
I thought you were gonna say like, hola.
Oh no!
This is back in the day.
Back in the day. So that was just like the foundation of it. But I think once all the kids, like me and everything, we were born, and I think more things like this started to happen where our aunts and uncles, they already kind of experienced it, but like they didn't want us, they were told the tales of like, oh, don't do this because this is gonna happen, and they already got a taste for it. So that's when like my family really started going into Christianity. I started volunteering for masses and everything when I was little. My aunts were the teachers of catechism and stuff like that. Like we were at every single mass and everything like that. But yeah, Christianity, like just paranormal activities like that really brings a person more into faith,
because
whatever
they were
it is.
exposed to something that was dark. Well,
Not dark, but like different than the physical, like something that can't be explained just by textbook or science. Like during that time, I don't know if it can be explained now, because again, like I said, we all have different, whatever. But yeah.
Wow, that was scary. Now, let's get into something I guess, serious, kind of. We're gonna watch a video.
Okay.
And remember how I talked about the... Oh. You remember how I talked about the user True Devil Worshipper, where he was talking about Satanists and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
I want to see what you guys can react to this. Is that
Okay.
okay? Now, so I'm going to be playing a video, and we're going to put it behind us as we're watching this. Go ahead and press play.
Satan has nothing to do with Christianity, predating the fucking thing, and so we see in Mesopotamia and some of the others that was a prevalent concept as well. Keep tapping the screen on the like button. Hello?
Hello.
How you doing?
Good. So I've always struggled with believing in this whole Christianity thing. It was like stuffed down my throat growing up. So my question to you is, what books or research can you direct me to learn more about Satanism?
About Satanism?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're coming out of Christianity, you want to adaptate to something known as the Nag Hammadi. This predates the earliest alleged New Testament compilations. Their view of God was much different than Christianity. They viewed the God of the Old Testament as a diabolical evil deity. And they were dualists, and that predates the New Testament. And so that perspective is regarded as Satanism in Richard Cavendish's work, 1967, of the Black Arts. And so he identifies the ancient Gnostics as Satanism. That is an excellent transition out of the Christendom, dogmatistic barricades of their assertions, because by their own dating methods, the Gnostics predate the New Testament, and their perspective was anti-Christian. They were considered heretics by the ante-Nicene heresiologists, which were the Catholic Church fathers, and so that's something you might want to look into.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Appreciate that. Thank you. So yes, folks, that is something I would suggest. We need to know what Satanism is, where it derives from, what the Koine Greek term Satanist entails. English is not the only fucking language, although some people seem to think it is. The fact is, the Latin and Greek and rooted nominative lexical forms of these terms paint a different meaning. So we'll take a couple more microphones up. Let's keep hitting the like button.
Hello?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Let me turn on my light because I'm kind of spooked. All right. So what exactly are you? Satanism?
What is Satanism? Well, it's an ancient ideological self-path of deification, sir, meaning that we are our own gods. Many people in Christendom have this idea that they are a weaker, lesser being inside of a God. They put that belief in their mind. We haven't seen proof of this, but they think that way. If you are your own God, you will obtain things at your highest capability and potential. Okay. You will do it to the uttermost. You will conquer, and as you think, so you are. So if people are thinking of themselves as God, psychologically, it's a lot more beneficial, I'd argue, and that ties into Satanism.
That's what's up. Do you guys have any rules?
Not in actual Satanism. We are an ideological perspective. We are not a political movement or a dogmatistic rule system. That is usually adapted by modernistic religious doctrines, and that's where we distinguish ourselves. People make these choices for themselves. Mm-hmm. We base our choices on wisdom to the best of our ability.
Word. So do y'all have a guided something to guide people to do you believe in world peace? Is this what do you I'm not what is the goal of Satanism?
Well, I think if everyone thought that way, that we're our own gods, we'd conquer things more powerfully. As we see in the UFC, for instance, a lot of people in other countries like Russia are beating the shit out of Americans very easily. They're very savage in their culture, and they adaptate to more mystical aspects in those kind of cultures. So I think if everybody thought this way as far as the power of God.
I think some people do think that way. I think that's where we get people like Hitler from. I ain't gonna lie.
The thing is, sir, is that there's a difference between being your own human and your own God. God is based on the ancient Gnostic principles of Pistis Sophia, which was mystical sacred wisdom. So obviously Hitler was not basing his choices off that, and so that would.
Now, what do you guys think about what he said previously at that moment? And how do you feel about that?
You want to take the mic?
Okay, I'll go.
You go.
I was kind of scared. And when he started saying that we should see ourselves as God, which is like, okay, I'm not going to judge nobody, but for me, it was just like, you should never think you are better than anybody else, whether satanic or witchcraft. It's the ego speaking. Do you know what I mean? His ego, it seems like he's very self-centered.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And I'm not judging him. I'm just saying this to the camera. I'm not judging him. We are listening to this as without judgment, right?
Yeah.
But it was kind of scary for me because I had to take a moment and be like, it was giving very dark, like very pushing me to very focus on it. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And it was a lot of things he said was kind of good, but I was just like, when he said to think yourself as God, it was very like, no, because then you're trying to be very self-centered. It's making you feel like you should be better than everybody else.
Yeah, I think honestly, that he's taking some like teachings from Christianity. Like parts of Christianity is talking about like you are trying to be the best version of yourself to like best you and like, you know, the world and everything like that. So when he was talking about like being a god or something, I think that's what I thought of is like you don't have to think like a god, but in context of like being able to like be the best version of yourself. So I personally speaking, like I see differently, but I can see where Satanism comes to him like that.
But
Yeah,
doesn't it seem like a very egotistic thing?
Yeah.
Like your ego. I felt like his ego was speaking instead of him. But he did sound like he was smart. Like he knew the literature. Does that make sense?
Mm.
No, I feel like he's trying to like, you know, trying to show is like, you know, like you have the control. Like you're the one person that's gonna be able to go forward in life. You know?
Right.
No? So that includes like you said, like the ego part of it. You know.
Yeah. Another thing, what I thought about it is when that guy asked about how
Hitler?
like the kind of the Hitler part, but like how he was like, so what's your guys' goal? Like, do you guys have an objective like Christianity or any other religions? And he said, well, we would like to think on the same basis, but again, like what you said, he's more thinking on an egotistical point of view, which is like one of the main faults of the human is being prone to egotistical, you know, pressure and temptation and stuff like that. So like, yes, that it could be the goal for some people, but again, like Satanism.
I think it's also like that's the scary part. You know?
Yeah.
So
Like some people can have too much control. You know, they're gonna show the whole world.
I actually got on live with him that same day, and I didn't get to record myself. But I asked him about the Satanic church that was burnt down on April 8th during a solar eclipse by a guy who was Christian, right? You know what he told me? They're not the same. The Christian, I mean, again, I keep saying that the Satanic of the temple and the belief in that one and his religion was totally different. They weren't the same Satanic. He said that the Satanic that I was talking about was like way off and they don't know anything. So I was like, and I'm not judging because I don't know anything about Satanic. But it was just when he said that, I was like, wait, I thought it was the same thing. But I guess his religion or his practice of Satanic is different compared to the Satanic church. Because on the website, it says they don't believe in the devil, but they believe in the 7 principles that they follow by. So,
I think it's like different forms of Christianity because we got Christianity, was it Catholicism, Catholicism, and then we have other forms. It's just like the Christian faith is like a branch of different types of religion with some core beliefs of certain things, and then there's other things like that. So I can see where he's saying that, like, you know, it's not that same church. But
he was offended when I said it. He was like, "Girl, you know what you're talking about," and I didn't because I don't know nothing about that. But I asked him, excuse me, I asked him, how does he feel about the church being burned down? And he didn't give me an answer. He was just like, we're not the same religion, so I can't answer that. But I'm like, well, you know what I mean? Like, it's a satanic temple. When you still kind of feel upset about it? Like, if for
Not
example,
upset,
if I
but
asked a
think-
Christian or a Catholic, your church got burned down, they would have said, you know, some stuff. But he was just more of like dancing around the question, I guess. Yeah.
Honestly, yeah.
Let's watch the rest of the video.
Be identified
What is your
as something else.
what is your like what is a god to you? What does a god look like to you?
It comes from the Paleo-Hebraic notion Elohim as well as Eloha. It has to do with intention of power. Angels are gods, demons are gods, men are called gods in the Bible. God's called God, so it doesn't mean what most people think.
Word.
It's funny.
I don't know. I'm confused on the purpose behind this Satanism thing. All right, so like, what is like the aim? What are you aiming? Like, what is the goal of Satanism? Like,
Many goals.
You're getting to say like, oh, becoming gods, but what does that look like exactly? Like, what is a human god? Like, if I believed I was a god right now, like, how would life change for me? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Well, all is mind, mind is all is the ancient Hermetic principle. It all begins in the mind. Anybody's actions, choices, activities begin with the mind. As we've seen on the microphone in the debates of those opposing Satanists, it's not going too well for them. That's because we are engulfed in ancient sacred knowledge, which
I don't mean to cut that off, but did you hear what that guy asked? If I was going to believe I was God, how would that affect me and how would that help me to create a better life for myself? But he said, all is mine and mine is all. So how does that answer the question? And then he started pointing out a book, saying, like, you should read this book. But that guy was basically asking, like, if I was to become a God, what happens now? You know? But instead he said, mine is all and all is mind. Rewind the tape.
all is mind, mind is all is the ancient Hermetic principle. It all begins in the mind.
But do you get what I'm saying? Like, it sounds like he's very dancing around the question. Or was it just me that thought that?
No, what I'm feeling, I don't really know a lot about Satanism and like different churches and stuff like that, but I think like he said from the beginning, from what I saw, every person that practices Satanism has their own perspective on how to practice it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's just the way he practices it, I guess.
Yeah, no, I get it, but it still doesn't answer the question. Well, from him saying, the guy said, if I was a god, what do I do now? And he just said, well, all is mine and mine is all. Like, what does that mean?
Maybe it means like, like.
It's your
Well,
own
you decided
interpretation.
your own interpretation.
But what's the outcome? Can he start
Because
controlling
whatever
the
you
weather?
pretty much think of it. Whatever you think of it, that's the way to go. That's what.
And this is why I have them here, because I get very illiterate.
Not illiterate.
Like,
Girl.
I don't know big words, so maybe I didn't understand a certain thing he said. Shall we continue?
Sure.
Sure.
It's known as gnosis. And so, as gods, we refute everybody's perspective, and we're still waiting for an actual argument from people. That's one example. Many people have religious trauma. They do not get a refund on Christianity when they leave the church. We're here to tend to people like that as well. They find our programs very beneficial.
Okay, I just feel like Satanism is kind of, I don't know. I think it's gonna guide people wrong because I'm not saying it will, but from my perspective, it just seems like you're aiming to be this God, but you don't really know what that is. Like, in my opinion, I think humans, we've all, throughout history, people have tried to be powerful gods, but, everyone has their own interpretation on what a god is.
Sir, the problem is every ancient book teaching a god had different interpretations and opinions. There's different gods with different things. So it's kind of just lengthened in the problem. Your argument is that everyone's doing different things. We need one thing. Well, there's many different gods of different religions and ancient texts teaching different things as well.
Right.
Do you claim to believe the God of the Bible, perhaps?
I believe in Jesus. I believe in God, but I'm very open-minded. I do question some things about Christianity. I don't really like religion, but I do believe in a higher power and
Because Reason I asked her is you brought up Hitler as a bad example of someone doing what they wanted. In the Bible, God drowns the world in a flood, commands Abraham to sacrifice his child on a mountain, and causes people to eat their own children in Jeremiah chapter 19, verse 9.
Right.
Really?
That sounds very bad. And
That's
so
why.
just because people misuse their alleged godhood
That's
has no bearing on goodness of deification, which we would promote.
right. No, I definitely okay. Yeah, no, like when it comes to the Bible, like that stuff is what like I don't really believe in. Like why would a loving God make people do bad things? That's where
Right.
it gets me. But one thing I do believe in is in the Bible is Christ and his love for people, not Father in the sky, but Christ on earth, his teachings on like sin and why we shouldn't sin, why sin is bad, why sin is killing us, like that pretty aligns with science to me. And like I feel like if people don't have like a specific goal, which Christ should be that goal of the perfect human, not Father in the sky, but Christ on earth. He was going around teaching. He was a loving God.
Well, sir, in Mark chapter 4, Jesus says that in the story, the reason he speaks in parables is so those outside of his esoteric circle of disciples would not understand him lest they should be saved. He prevented salvation, it says, by keeping his meanings hidden.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound loving in the sense that most people would understand it. It looks like he was trying to prevent salvation there. But
I get that.
I appreciate you
I get
sharing.
that. That's why like the Bible is kind of confusing, but Christ is like, I don't know, the idea of sin and why we shouldn't sin. And
I don't know. I think he's, like you said, going around it again. I think the question was like, if I present myself as a god, then what is the meaning behind it? And then he just uses phrases from the Bible, and however you want to interpret the Bible isn't a literal source of what exactly happened. I mean, it could be, but at the end of the day, the religion itself, in my perspective and how I was taught, is that it sets rules that way you do not become evil, that you are able to be the best version and put back into society. It gives you rules on how a person should be, which is like the idea of God is like an all good man and does no wrong and stuff like that. And we are people who do wrong, who have wrong intentions, but our goal in the religion is to be the best version
Of yourself.
And be like God in itself.
Right.
So he kind of like
Jumped around the question. And then what I was kind of confused was he kept on bringing, well, the part that was when he said God said Abraham to eat his kids or something. I've never heard of that.
I heard something where
I know that
God wanted him to
unalive
sacrifice
his kids,
his sons, stuff like that. But again, kids, like if you tell a teenager don't
do something,
they're gonna do something.
Right.
Like I'm not saying like, oh, what they had to, what they did, like they deserved it or whatever. I'm just saying most times people learn from experiences, whether it's good or bad. Like it is bad, but at the end of the day, like if you just give it straight out, like they're gonna have questions, they're gonna do things differently and stuff like that. He gave us like what the 10 Commandments or something to abide by, and that's what the religion is to follow the 10 Commandments and be the best version of a good human you can be, rather than what he's saying is Satanism is like you wanting to be God and doing whatever you want to do to better yourself. But what does that entail in itself? Like,
I feel like
what's the outcome?
No, I feel like what he wants us to do is like rephrasing all those things that he said, that we shouldn't be following one person, we shouldn't be following anybody, but we should be following ourselves.
Right. But then it sounds very egotistic, because if you're gonna think yourself as a god and you're gonna worship yourself as a god, then that goes to show you're just being selfish, because it sounds very self-indulgent. It sounds like you're being what's the word I'm looking for? Like self-centered.
Maybe that's
No.
why his version of Satanism
Right.
is.
Well, do you know? Because you said that there was the 7 like principles.
I don't know, but I read about it on TikTok.
Girl.
Yeah.
I don't know. It again, like he said, each Satanism like religion has their own beliefs, their own. It differs
Unless
from
you guys
person
want
to
to Google it
person.
on your phone, because as you can tell, or Miguel, like the 7 principles of Satanism.
Seven principles of Satanism.
It says like 7 principles or 7 principles of Satanism rules or something like that.
What I see is there are 7 fundamental tenets. Does that mean?
No, that's it.
Hmm.
Okay, so it says.
Oh yeah,
Not me wanting to. Not wanting me to subscribe.
a newsletter.
Hold on, I rebuke. Okay, it says one should strive to act from.
Wait, what is this?
This is the 7 fundamental tenets
Of
of Satanism from their website, the Satanic Temple. So number 1, it says one should strive to act with compassion and empathy towards all creatures, in accordance with reason. The struggle for justice is ongoing and necessary pursuit that should prevail over laws and institutions. One's body is invaluable.
Invaluable, like it's inexpendable.
Me in college.
Not me knowing that. I said I was illiterate.
Subject to one's own will alone. So I think that's what he's getting at. The freedoms of others should be respected, including the freedom to offend, to willfully and unjustly encroach upon the freedoms of another is forego one's own. 5, beliefs should conform to one's best scientific understanding of the world. One should take care never to distort scientific facts to fit one's beliefs. People are fallible. If one makes a mistake, one should do one's best to rectify it and resolve any harm that might have been caused. And then the last one, it says every tenet is a guiding principle designed to inspire nobility in action and thought. The spirit of compassion, wisdom, and justice should always prevail over the written or spoken word. So I think in some ways, the fact that he's going again to these, these ancient texts and quoting his own sources and stuff should in itself kind of like debunk what he's saying a little bit, just because it's like, from what I'm saying, it's he's, like you said, going on his own
Around the question.
He's going based on ego, and then he's quoting biblical sources from Christian and Catholic texts to his own
Incorporation.
not incorporation, but like his own
Theories?
not theories. It sounds odd to me, but that's just because, like I said,
We don't know nothing about it. And I'm not making this video to bash him or talk bad about Satanism. I'm very open to that subject, not into the practice, but I'm very willing to learn, just like voodoo, like, stuff like that. And if this is gonna explain to you guys or to us of something different, then, I don't mind paying attention to it, right?
mm-hmm.
Without judgment. But then again, we're not judging, we're just questioning, because it just seems kind of...
From what we were told and how, things are supposed to go, and from what he's saying, he's kind of contradicting himself in a little bit. Even though, like, some aspects of what he's saying, like, I completely see how he believes it and why he interprets the things that he's interpreting, and how he's responding to whatever the guy was saying about one's own God, and how, like, the person that was asking him the question, he even said, like, I don't really believe in the biblical writings that my religion has, like the teachings inside the Bible, but like the concept around it, like, I don't understand your guys' concept
Right.
of your religion. And I think he's just
Back and forth.
back and forth trying to just.
More like maybe it's just trying to be like, I'm right, These
Oh.
are
But
just me.
I can see how he's trying to like use what we know and saying like,
And interpret it for us to understand in this way, which
yeah. But like again, like we've always known that God is merciful, he is kind, but he is also like
a jealous
a
God.
not a jealous God. Our God is a ruthless God. He should be feared in aspects like he's lovable and stuff, but you also, from what I've learned, is he's a ruthless God too. And that's some parts and teachings that they don't really show you, but it's incorporated in the religion that like Jesus, our God,
He should be feared.
He should be feared.
So
He
like,
should be
so it's
loved.
like if you're doing the right things, he's gonna love you. But if you're doing bad things, then that's when he becomes a ruthless.
Yeah, he's gonna do the ruthless thing, but he's still gonna love you at the end. So when he said he kills and puts famine into the world and stuff like that, he is a fearful God. Any pope, any priest can tell you he is a lovable God. He's a forgiving God, but he is also a fearful God in itself. And I think that's what kind of went over a little bit of like what they were trying to say is like he's trying to justify what is it called, the idea of we should be our own God too. Well, your God does bad too, and it's like we've always known our God does bad, but you've never like brushed it off. It's just so him paraphrasing the Bible and acts of what our God has done in like stuff like that. It's just like we've already kind of known that, but the question is, what is the difference of us believing in one God and believing that we are God?
But he's not giving no answer.
Yeah.
Which is like, but I believe.
No, but I do see how he's trying to connect with us on relatable things that we've heard and we've read and stuff like that through our scriptures and everything like that, but it's still not answering the question of like, why do you believe that you should practice in being a God?
Right.
Because as a human, from what I was taught, is we are human. Humans make mistakes. We are imperfect, and God in itself is perfect. We strive to be perfect, but we're never going to be. We know our faults. We know our things. So why is he telling us we should be our own gods? Because that in itself, Satanism, from what I'm getting, is Satanism is
her opinion, by the way.
Yeah, it's kind of confusing because, like you guys, what he said is that they don't believe in the devil, but they believe in not the practices, but like the rules and the way of living through the principles of it and stuff like that.
Like independency.
Yeah, so if you believe you are God, then you are believing in a God. So doesn't that contradict?
Yes, but and it also seems like he's saying that you are your own God, so you believe in yourself.
Girl, I'm confused. Here and there.
And that's why we're watching
my
this.
Word for it.
And let's continue to the video.
And basically become better people and evolve into a loving nature. Like that's just more like becoming a God.
We teach that in Satanism.
Like God, I don't know. I just don't think. I don't know. It confuses me.
All right. Well, thanks for sharing, sir. We appreciate it. We have some other microphone requests we're going to get to. Like I said, some people have different definitions of God. Ours comes from the ancient text by which the means God is derivative from. I mentioned the Elohim, Elohad, plurality, the aspectation of angels, daimons, demons, daimonion, utilization of theos, the Greek word for...
I don't know.
Why did he bring up Elohim?
The definition of God is not. It's a singular, like a higher power. There's deities and other things like that. So when he's saying God, we're not referencing, like in the scriptures, you call me God because I'm the one and only God, rather than different gods or different deities or different, stuff like that. But I don't know. He's referencing as God, as in like. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Me took a religion class once.
And she knows everything.
Nah,
Yeah, smart.
Says in the passage, I will cause them to eat their children. It's in the hyphal form in Hebrew, which is causative in the grammatics. So that's what it says there as well.
Wow, I never knew that. All right, well, thank you for letting me join.
We appreciate you, sir. Thank you. Yes, folks, whether people agree with us, devil worshippers or not, they will not leave this live stream without learning something. We've had much testimony on that. Keep in mind, we've been debating Christians for the past weeks. We've given them a fair shot in the devil room. We, in essence, provide them with a platform so as to convince us all that Satanism's wrong. Many people last night were coming to my mic saying they want to deconvert into Satanism. It's a fair chance. Everyone heard they're not compelled by the Christian arguments. Christians seem upset about that. It's not their fault. You guys had a chance. We all debated, and many people who are considering all this are like, I want to be a Satanist now. It's not a fault. We're still looking for an actual argument. Many fallacious assertions of red herrings, straw man adaptations in argument were utilized, as well as double standards.
Wait, why are we looking for an argument? Is he talking about the difference between Christianity and Satanism? And he wants to have a real argument about the religion?
That's pretty much what I'm getting from it.
But why would it be an argument about what religion you are choosing? Again, back like to what I said earlier, it shouldn't be about judging someone's religion or not. Whether you believe in whatever you believe in, it shouldn't be in a competition.
That's why I feel that he wants to get at. If his reason is that he feels like maybe Christianity are the judgmental ones, but I feel like he's
That's
the one
true,
that is pretty much doing the same thing.
Well, there's a thing called religious psychosis,
I feel like there's hate in all religions, respectfully. I can't back up Christianity. We've done a lot of bad things in history, but
I feel like everyone always wants to prove like they're right,
Yeah,
and again, that sounds very egotistic, right?
Pretty much.
And since since we're going to talk about that God topic again, since he says that he's believing in the devil worshiper and he's a god, what is he benefiting out of it? Meaning, does he have power to control? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I think it's just a mindset. Because what did he say? Like mind over whatever.
All is mine and mine is all.
Yeah, I think that's just a mentality. Like, you don't need to believe when you want to hype yourself up, you're like, I'm that boss ass bitch. Like, hell yeah, but I don't understand how it's
benefiting.
I'm confused.
I'm so confused too. Not with you, but it's what he's saying, and I'm not judging him, but I'm still waiting for him to say something. Maybe I'm not smart enough to understand.
I think pretty much just believing yourself. That's
okay. Well, that's what he should have just
like
said.
He's that's what he's trying to interpret with what he's saying.
Okay, well,
just believing yourself,
okay. All right,
yes, sir.
Michelle.
Standards. We are yet to see anybody opposing us in argumentation who does not use a double standard. The picking, the choosing, the setting up of standards and later abandoning doesn't win arguments. And so we're a little confused about that. We looked at the Bible. We see that to adaptate to your own godhood, as your own God, as your own goddess in Satanism, you must base your choices off of Sophia's wisdom. I don't think Hitler, the man brought up, is a good example for that. He obviously didn't base it off wisdom. So it's very mystical. In fact, it was common in ancient Sumer regarding Gilgamesh. He was deified and was a god as well.
Also, I don't think his reasoning for basing things off of Hitler, you also have to understand that, like, again, we are humans. We are fault to misinterpretation and stuff like that. So for him to say, like, oh, he believed in God or whatever, like again, like we are humans, we misinterpret things, or like we switch things up. So whether or not Hitler himself was believing he was following the word of the Lord or whatever like that is part of being a human, if that makes it not good whatsoever what he did at all at all at all. But I'm just saying, for him to say that, like, I don't know, like,
because it just sounds like why is he's comparing them to Hitler's actions?
Yeah, no, not his. Well, kind of like the reasoning behind his actions, if that makes sense, to the religion itself. And it's just like, again, in our religion, like my religion, you don't base yourself off of like the text that you're doing, because we understand that we do things that aren't okay or that aren't what the Bible is meaning us to do, like how, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of, I don't know.
It sounds like a double standard coming from him. Because if you are believing that you are God, does that mean you have no faults? And if you have no faults, then all the thing that you are doing is wrong, but you see it as you're a God.
Right.
So it's right. So for example, if he was out here, let's say, essaying somebody, but he believed that he's a God, that he can do it, then his action is he's not responsible for it because he's a God.
It's kind of like
does that make
forms
sense?
of cults, though. Because you know those, I don't know the big names, but there was that, like a bunch of cults that...
Like Charles Manson and them?
Yeah, like he believed he was a god in his teachings and his religion and stuff like that, and he felt that his doings were not wrong. So how does that differentiate from what he's saying, that he is a god, and what he does or doesn't do is based off of his religion and the goodness or the upholdness of his religion?
And again, he even said that he's not trying to turn anybody against their religion, or he's not basically, everything he's saying is not trying to make you change your mind, but he wants to open our mind. So the fact that we're talking about him being a god and that he's like out here doing his thing, that it's holy for him, it's because he has no consequences. Saying we're just saying we're not promoting him for you guys to follow, to do anything harm others. I have to say that just in case if that a message seems like that. Does that make sense? I'm
just confused about all of this. I was tricked onto this podcast, bamboozled. I love being here though.
Ambush. Well, just watch a little bit more, and hopefully it's a good one, and then we're just gonna...
Maybe he comes back around.
Yeah, how about we just watch it through? Okay. With no judgment.
Thank you. Yes, it's an imported statue from Mexico. There's many devil statues. Beautiful culture of devil worship in Mexico and various areas, as well as Santa Muerte worship. Of course, we often go over the fact that the pre-Americas, the Incas, the Aztecs, the Native Americans, all were engaged in obvious evil spirit theological worship and devils, and you could just see it by their idolization in forms of statues. They weren't happy, nice paintings of Jesus. They're very diabolical.
I don't think Aztecs believed in Jesus. They believed in deities.
Mm-hmm.
So
the sun god and stuff like that.
The sun god, the moon, and I don't think they believed in Jesus. And the structures aren't pictures of demons; they're pictures of their gods or their deities.
But I get the thing he's trying to say is that they didn't worship God; they worshiped the God that they were worshiping, and all their actions that they were doing, such as sacrifices and stuff. It was towards something holy. But again, that's a God that they're sacrificing to. But he's trying to say that aren't the Mayans their own God? Because then he's referring back to the literature again, which doesn't explain.
Let's continue.
Okay.
Let's hear this man out. Give me a second.
Very diabolical looking, like the Mesopotamian statue of Pazuzu. And so it's not my fault every single ancient culture agrees with devil worship. Satanism is not a religion. Some people come and they say, we want to join. Where do we sign up? Like a college fraternity. Hello?
Hello.
How you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. I just wanted to touch base on your 3 points that you brought up before.
Sure.
Love
the
the
Noah,
accent.
the
Love
flood,
the accent.
Yes.
and the sacrifice of Abraham's son, and
Yep.
then the verse that you just gave the other brother about eating their own children.
Okay.
Yeah. But first, I want to thank God because He told me that Satan is deceiving, and what you're doing now is deceiving. Can you,
Sir, can I just
can
say
you,
something real
can you
fast?
narrate?
Sir, 1 second. I just want to say something before we
No,
begin.
hold
Does
on.
not,
Let me finish, brother. Can you narrate
Sir,
the?
I'm sorry. We're not having a debate that way. It's my platform. I wanted to introduce something. We need a discussion, not a monologue. Okay, some people want to get in the mic and preach and just tell us their opinions. We need to have a discourse. He told us that the devil is deceptive. What we're going to show the man is that in Ezekiel chapter 14, verse 9, it says this: if a prophet be deceived among the people, I, the Lord, have deceived that prophet and will stretch up my hand and destroy him. Well, that turns the tables quite a bit. It looks like the God of Israel says that he is the deceiver in that passage. And anyone can look that up right now. That's Ezekiel chapter 14, verse 9. So we wanted to give that as our opening statement, and the man insisted that he was just going to preach. I'm sorry, we need to have a discussion, not a monologue, and so that is what the microphones are for. The point is that we've heard many attempt to assert, and beware for this, folks, for each person that comes up. If they accuse us of taking things out of context, take note of how they present the context. We need to see that. That's very pertaining to what we're going to be engaging in. So we'll try another microphone. Let's keep tapping the like button screen. Hello.
What's up, man? So I got
Did you have a question?
Yeah, I do. Have you ever tried to get closer to God at all? Like, try to,
Sir, are you 18 or older to be on the microphone, or?
Yeah, I have Down syndrome. Sorry. It's a disorder. Sorry.
Okay, sir, did you have an actual question?
Yeah, like, have you, ever, like, tried to,
Tried the Jesus hat on? Yes, we were Christians many years ago, sir. Catholic and Protestant. We read the Bible.
Look, Bert, just get closer to God. I hope God forgives you for your sins, Bert. That's disrespectful, Bert.
Which God, sir? Which God? The Jewish God, the Muslim God, or the Christian God?
The Christian God, bro. I hope.
Okay, why is that the true God?
Because, bro.
Because, bro. Okay, that's the answer the young man gave. Because, bro. Okay, that's not a consistent answer. What we've seen is that there's a multiplicity of polytheistic pantheons of gods contained throughout the.
Again, I'm not laughing. It was just it was a funny moment to me, but I'm not laughing at the kid or it was.
I feel like he is being too judgmental. Like he's not letting people talk. He's not trying to listen to them. He's trying to prove that he's right. He's doing is correct.
Yeah, I feel like in religions, like, you need to have respect for other people's point of views. Like, there's no right religion and there's no wrong religion. Like, so the fact that he's literally cutting them off.
And just like how I told you earlier before we were recording, I had an incident where I recorded this lady who used to be a witch, and she converted to Christianity, and I wanted to share to my fellow witches of her story, not to throw it at them or shove it down their throat, but to see from a different perspective. And instead of them watching or whatever, they were just judging, saying I was trying to bash them. But I was like, no, I wanted you guys to see this without judging, but they were just being judgmental. Like, they didn't want to give it a moment. And I'm not trying to convert them, but I want them to see from everyone's point of view. As a religion to another religion, we should be able to respect someone's POV, whether it's good or bad, because as you're human, and it seemed like he's not giving them a chance to defend. I get it, the little kid, because he said you should go to God, bruh, but he didn't want to listen.
He's trying to prove that our right is correct.
Right.
I thought the live that he's on is supposed to answer questions, but he's not answering. He's justifying
And reading from pages of the.
Rather than educating, I think he's just pointing out.
I haven't been educated, and I'm not talking smack. I just didn't know what was going on. those questions that he didn't answer, and if it did, it was coming from verses of pages of different books instead of defining the answer to it. You know?
Each to their own, though. Good for him, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, look at all the followers he had. Like,
Go off, Pookie.
Hello?
Hello.
Quick question.
Okay.
What is your purpose of creating this live? Just curious. Is it to spark a conversation or like?
No, multiplicity of things, usually by means of demand and request. A lot of people are beneficially adaptating to our streams. And really, you got to understand, sir, that westernized society has been bombardingly dogmatized by Christian morality. Christianity. The Bible is in the hospitals, in the prisons, in the courtrooms, in the hands of Jehovah's Witnesses who knock on doors like vacuum salesmen with Jesus cartoons. We're going to speak up against that.
Yeah, but I'm
And
not
the
gonna
thing
lie.
is that there's other perspectives, sir, is why.
I mean, yeah.
okay, I understand there's different perspectives. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut that off. He was saying how there's Bibles in hospitals, hotels, and da-da-da-da, which is okay, because then some people, I think what he's trying to say is like they're trying to shove the Christianity down people's throat. But for me, it seems like they're giving people hope. If you can worship a God of whatever religion, like as if he's worshiping the devil, if that gives him hope and keeps him being a good person, then so be it. Why should we worry if the person's gonna find a book or not?
Yeah, also, I think for a really long time, for the whole United States of America, like history, whatever, I think the majority-based religion was Christianity for a really long time. Even though we have a lot of new religions and more outlooks and more outreaches for different religions, I think that he is kind of right on how Christianity and Catholicism has been one of the major religions and outputs in all aspects of living. But that doesn't mean like they're purposely trying to do it. I think it's just there was a lot of people who believed in it, and if there's a lot of people,
and it found their way to
But I understand that he wants to have more of an outreach of his own religion, but that didn't really answer the question of like what was the purpose of it, rather than him just.
Agree. There's other. I mean, I'm Muslim, so because like whenever I go to a hotel.
Okay, so you've read the Quran in Arabic, sir?
Yeah, well, I learned it from a teacher, but I don't understand like translating it. I don't know how to, but I can read it. I've been trying.
So you don't read the Arabic? Okay, are you aware there's
No, I
many
do read the
differences?
Arabic, but I can't understand it. So I've been trying to try to read
All right,
the
so sir, in the Quran, when it asserts "Lim yalid wa lam yulad," are you familiar with that passage? in the
Walam
Arabic,
yalid,
sir?
walam yulad, walam yakul lahu. Yeah.
Okay, so can you comment on that, the yelid pertaining to the sonship of Allah? What is your opinion on that?
Could you repeat that again? I'm sorry.
Sir, in the Arabic text of the Quran, it says, Lim yelid wa lam yulad, that Allah neither beget nor hath he begotten, sir. Are you familiar that same exact identical cyclic teaching is contained in the Egyptian Book of the Dead pertaining to Ra, which predates Islam by many years?
Okay, it's not really well, see me, I'm not really good at stuff like this, but
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Did you have a question instead, perhaps?
not really. Well, I did want to share my perspective of Islam. I mean, the thing is, it's all who's right, who's wrong. And I feel like everybody got their own story to tell. Like, how am I going to force you to go in my religion? Like, I don't see that happening. I feel like you'll be happier if you follow your own ambition. The same way people are literally the First Amendment, man. Do your thing. But
well, we agree with free speech. It's just, sir, our point is we've read the Quran, we've read the Bible. We're just not convinced by those perspectives, I think is what it comes down to. In the weighing of evidence, everything is in the favor of Satanism, I would say.
well, what's so idealistic about Satanism, if I may ask?
Let's look at it this way. Where did the Quran get its stories from? We see that Jesus making clay birds in his cradle in the Quran is actually stolen from the Gnostic infancy gospel of Thomas, which predates that. That was a satanic cult at the time. So I think all of these stories trace back to devil worship for one simple reason. No ancient civilization viewed the god or power of this world as a nice, happy, silly guy. It's a diabolical world of natural disasters, famine, starving children, deformities. They didn't think that their buddy Jesus was there for them. They acknowledge this world as dualism. So there's both good and evil corresponding balanced forces. And that's why Zoroastrianism taught the devil before Christianity, understanding that aspect of nature.
So are you saying the aspect of nature is that like God wouldn't exist because there's such evil and horrendous suffering in this world?
Well, I think that shows there's a multiplicity of various energies and powers pertaining to what a god is, that there is good and evil gods in every single ancient cult for that reason. They taught goddesses. For instance, does the Quran teach goddesses? Or just
No.
Allah?
One. Yeah, just one.
Okay,
God.
sir, I suggest you look into Surah 53, verse 19 through 20. Do some research into what's argued known as the Satanic verses. It's a very academic, theological, Muslim, scholarly debate. And they say that originally the Prophet Muhammad recited that he praised Meccan goddesses. And Muslims say that Satan deceived him to recite that there. And 13th century Muslims said, how could Prophet Muhammad be deceived if he was perfect? So that's something you might want to look into, that the Quran originally taught goddesses, but they were taken out. So we appreciate the man for sharing. We do have some other mic requests. And as he said, he didn't have any other questions. We just wanted to get that in there for those interested in learning about the Quran. Keep in mind, folks, it's not just Muslims reading the Quran or Christians reading the Bible. There's fucking atheist scholars that study every religion, okay? And we have a right to know what these ancient books say just as much as the next, especially if these books are the basis by which we make our moral and life choices or decisions. Let's try another microphone. Keep tapping the like button if we can there.
Hi.
How you doing?
Good, how are you? I had a question. Well, a couple.
Okay.
So do you believe in witchcraft, I guess?
Absolutely, yes. Witchcraft has always been primarily satanic in its necromantical forms of catabasis, libation off.
No. Witchcraft is not what is form of satanic. No. We, as in Wicca, we worship nature. And for paganism, similar to the same, but they worship deities such as the horn god and other like Hecate and stuff, right? Well, for this, oh my god, this is like a breakthrough. Witchcraft, in my definition, is the path of self-discovery. And it does have sort of an egotistic thing, but we use this craft to help ourselves to better out into the world, such as like not a healer, like we can turn our journey into helping others, like a mentor. And I kind of, this sounds weird, but I kind of agree what he said now when it comes to being a god. But I don't see myself as a god. No, never that. But I get that what he meant now, as in it's a form of
discovery.
Well, not self-discovery, but using that path to better yourself. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, yeah.
So maybe with him, that's what he's trying to say. Maybe the not power, satanic is about believing in oneself and learning, using it to better yourself in the future. But in not believing in consequences. But us witches, we believe in a threefold law. Whatever goes around comes back around 3 times stronger. So, witchcraft and Satanism is not the same. It has different beliefs, but ours is about self-discovery. And for him, it's more of labeling himself as a god.
Oh, okay.
I get,
see that.
well, you know what I'm saying? So I finally get, it's hard for
Yeah.
me to explain because I need water. But I see it, like, it's kind of, I kind of understand.
She needs milk. Sorry.
The holy water jug. But I get what he's meant now. So satanic is about self-discovery, but labeling themselves as a god. For me, my definition is in the path of self-discovery, but using this to enlighten and help others and create world peace, kind of.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't consider myself as a god though. No, I see myself I work for the people. You know?
Yeah, I see that.
Like pushing wheelchairs.
Shut up. This girl.
But I kind of get it. That kind of opened my mind just a little bit. Did that make sense?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it did.
Offerings and Hecate-based moon worship. So yes, we perform
Hecate.
witchcraft. For that, I'd recommend the Greek magic papyri, things like that, very primitive in their spell work. Often we advocate things recited from that very book.
So you do it, or
She
Yes.
sounds so cute.
and then do you pray to the devil as like us Christians pray to Jesus? I guess.
Well, the Hebrew term for prayer was incantation. It's utilized in a multiplicity of various spots, and that has more to do with summoning or evoking demonical energy. So it's a bit different than Christian prayer. Christian prayer is kind of like, AOL mail to Jesus, like a pen pal. Like just talk to him. Evocation involves protection amulets and sacred talisman and things like that with demonic energies and stuff. So,
And then, what do you think about the afterlife, or do you believe in it?
God.
well, we don't take death as life.
I just realized something. The pentagram our pentagram, which is the star, not inverted, the star, I'm gonna put it here. It represents mind, body, and soul, and the environment of the surrounding, which we're projecting from the elements of earth, air, fire, water, and spirit. His is inverted, so it's upside down, meaning it's self-indulgence. It's the worshiping of self.
Well, that kind of makes sense because he
Because-
saw himself as a god.
Because I'm looking at it right now. It's right there. Literally, I'll put the definition here for Wicca or witchcraft, and I'll put the definition here for him. But I see it because it's facing down, meaning he's worshiping his himself. But for us, we worship our surrounding, our environment.
Wow.
Wow, I'm having a breakthrough.
Wow, look at her.
Maybe we should have watched this all the way to the end. But that's crazy.
Find more compelling the Easter meditative ideologies of Bartotolic cyclicity, which is taught in the Tibetan Book of the Dead. So I'd recommend anyone engage in studying that. It goes over the aspect of mind, the Buddha mind, the cyclicity of
He
nature.
has
That
so
in fact
many books,
the
bro.
notion of
Damn.
It's a library at this point.
cognitive aspect similar to the astral
Maybe
projection.
okay.
Librarian.
And there's
How do you
a
say
lot of
it?
good ideas there.
Maybe
I
not
just
like
think many
that.
people in the West are prejudiced towards adaptation of beliefs.
It's
There's
a
many
little bit,
people
am I
that are not
right?
as popular in other parts of the world that
Spanish
teach
class.
things based on examination
Hola.
of nature and not beliefs.
Okay, so how do you guys feel about everything that he was said? Even though I already said my enlightenment, it sounds like I had a breakthrough.
With the last girl talking, I kind of got a sense of what he was trying to talk about, but like I said,
That's the one that I had to sit here and watch this to finally be like, oh, it's about self-indulgence, self-worth,
yeah, boy, just saying that.
That's all he had to say.
20 minutes in, man.
Was it 20
But
minutes?
hey, I don't know, but good for you, I guess. Pop off. Her.
Like I said, he is trying to argue pretty much. He just wants to prove that
Which is
his
fine,
side
but
is right.
it seemed like he didn't want to let people in on their own kind of words, right?
Each to their own. I guess that's how he wants to,
You guys, I don't mean to cut it short, but before I let you go, what do you have to say to the visual and audio listeners about what you've learned here, and will this seem to interest you into choosing that path?
Nah, I'm cool off of that path. But it was cool to get an insight on Satanism and stuff like that. Because, like I said, we don't really, go anywhere near that stuff. So it was cool to watch, I guess. I mean, I had some different doubts and stuff like that, but it was alright. It's whatever.
I say just be open-minded, pretty much. You don't need to follow the path, but just don't be too judgmental or too critical about other people's religions or what their beliefs.
Same. I kind of said that too. I was watching it and I was like, I'm trying not to judge it. but I just couldn't get it. But then when I watched it to the end, I was like, oh, it's about self-worth. You worship yourself because of the inverted triangle.
Don't use the big words, sir. Just say it. And just say it with your chest. It's okay.
Get to the point.
For you though, we got it at the end. That's all that matters.
I felt like I have to explain it. But thank you guys. Now, don't forget to like this video and also subscribe. Blessed be my witches and Wiccan, and well, coming from me, for them. Have a blessed day. Thank you guys again. Bye.
Bye.
Doo-doo, 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 doo-doo.